Namaskar, warm greetings from DELNET Developing Library Network, New Delhi, and Jansons Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. Distinguished Dr. M.V. Suresh Kumarji, the Director, Jansons Institute of Technology, Dr. V. Nagarajan, the Principal, esteemed speaker, Dr. E.S. Sharmila, the Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Jansons Institute of Technology, Professor N. Krishnapriya, Professor in Charge Library, heads of institution, including the directors, principals, deans, HODs, librarians, and LIS professionals, educational administrators, IQAC officials, faculty, researchers, scholars, various officials from Jansons Institute of Technology and my own colleagues here at DELNET New Delhi, as well as its coordination unit at Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, ladies and gentlemen. I, Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, directed DELNET on behalf of DELNET, as well as Jansons Institute of Technology, extends a very warm, hearty welcome to all of you for joining us today from different parts of India and many other countries for a joint collaborative webinar session on unleashing the power of data analytics, shaping the future of innovative research ecosystem, which will shortly be delivered by our esteemed expert speaker, Dr. E.S. Sharmila. We are much grateful to each one of you for your very overwhelming response for today's collaborative session, as more than 1,000 participants have registered for this webinar from different nooks and parts of India and also from many other countries. At the very outset, on behalf of DELNET, I would like to express a very warm, sincere gratitude and also thanks to the Jansons Institutes of Technology, all administrators, who have really made it possible for us in joining hands with one of our most profound and esteemed member institution in organizing this session today. This will further be strengthening, our resolve in engaging with knowledge sharing activities, and we are much grateful for this wonderful collaboration. We would like to start, the session I would like to, at the very outset, would like to request our esteemed director of Jansons Institute of Technology, Dr. M.V. Suresh Kumarji, to kindly give an opening inaugural address. May I request you, Dr. Suresh Kumarji, to kindly deliver the inaugural address at this occasion. It's over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Jansons Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all to this webinar on unleashing the power of data analytics, shaping the future of an innovative research ecosystem. Today, we embark on a journey that not only explores the vast potential of data analytics, but also delves into the transformative impact on the research landscape, particularly in academic institutions. In this technological era, data has emerged as the fundamental essence of innovation and progress. The exponential growth of data generation across various domains presents both challenges as well as opportunities. As researchers in colleges, you are at the forefront of harnessing this wealth of information to drive meaningful insights and discoveries. In today's digital age, educational institutions are constantly seeking ways to enhance their academic resource and provide students with access to a wide range of information. One such successful collaboration that our institution has embarked upon is with Developing Library Network, that is DELNET, and it has brought about transformative changes in our academic landscape in the last 2 years. Our collaboration with DELNET has been resounding success, enhancing the academic experience of our students and faculty members alike. It has not only expanded our access to resources, but also fostered a culture of innovation, collaboration, and continuous learning within our institution. We look forward to further leveraging this partnership to nurture academic excellence and research innovation in the years to come. I encourage all the participants to actively participate, ask questions, and share your thoughts throughout the session. Let us seize this opportunity to learn, collaborate, and chart a course towards a data-driven future. And thank you, Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, for extending the invite, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with such a diverse and knowledgeable group of individuals. Thank you once again, and good day for all.
very much, Dr. Suresh Kumarji, for such a very, very gracious delivering, the inaugural address, and also for your, boundless trust and faith. And we assure you from DELNET that we are always, always with Jansons Institute of Technology, a very premier institution in Tamil Nadu, to spread and illuminate the lives of others by engaging in knowledge sharing. Thank you so very much for giving us such wonderful opportunity, and we really look forward to coming in as committed earlier to come down to Jansons Institute of Technology and also to hold the sessions in person. Thank you so very much. May I request you to kindly accept, because I know that you have not many engagements for the for this afternoon, can be requested to accept this as a token of our warm, sincere gratitude to Jansons Institute of Technology and coming all the way to you with great sense of gratitude to you for all the warm collaboration that you've always been extending to us. Thank you so very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Suresh Kumarji. I have a profound honor and pleasure now in welcoming once again a very distinguished speaker, Dr. E.S. Sharmila, and to introduce her to each one of you. It's a profound honor in letting each one of you know that Dr. E. Sharmila is currently working as a professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Jansons Institute of Technology. She's an esteemed expert holding a PhD in web services with an impressive career spanning over nearly 2 decades in academia. Her extensive accomplishments comprises 7 patents. It's noteworthy to see 7 patents that she has to her credit, and also the publication of more than 50 research papers in renowned international and national journals, alongside participation in national and international conferences focusing on wireless sensor networks, data science, cybersecurity, web services, and also cloud computing. It's indeed a proud honor and pleasure to let you all know that Dr. Sharmila also served as a mentor for the MSME Idea Hackathon 3.0 for women proposal, which successfully secured 11.756 lakhs. Driven by a deep passion for technological advancement, she actively seeks collaborative opportunities to foster sustainable impact. Thank you so very much for considering us as one of the collaborators to make your work, to make your, such a great expertise that you hold on the subject being known on through this platform. Much grateful to you, Dr. Sharmila. Profound honor and pleasure in welcoming you and also requesting you to kindly start the proceedings of this wonderful afternoon and a wonderful webinar. It's over to you, Dr. Sharmila.
It's my great pleasure, like our management supporters for this webinar to act as a resource person. And ma'am, I'm very much thankful for you for supporting me and giving me the opportunity to take this session. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you share my screen, ma'am? Directly I can go, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible? Krishna Priya, ma'am?
Ma'am, yes, you're audible, but Sangeeta ma'am is not audible.
Sangeeta ma'am is not audible.
It is, your screen is very much visible, and Dr. Sharmila,
Okay,
you're audible, but we are not able to see you right now. But you can move the slide a bit to see it's moving.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
But you're not visible. I believe your webcam, it's being, I'm sending you a webcam request.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All set.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, now this screen only is available. I need the presentation screen, ma'am.
Moving. Dr. Sharmila, it is moving. The screen is very much moving.
But for me, no. This webinar viewer only is available, ma'am.
You can minimize it. Your present, yeah, it is moving.
Sharmila ma'am, the presentation is moving. You can start the presentation.
Yeah, you can start. It's moving, yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the data analytics, how the role of this data analytics in the research ecosystem. First of all, we'll go with data analytics. So your data analytics, so it's a science of analysis, so which is analyzing the raw data to make the conclusion about the information which is required. See, your data analytics is a multidisciplinary field which employs a wide range of analysis like techniques, which can include the mathematics, statistics, computer science, which draw the insights from the data set. So when we are talking about our data analytics, it's a broad term which includes everything from simply analyzing the data in the theorizing way of collecting the data and creating the framework needed wherever it requires, we can store it. So basically, if you are talking about our data, the data is everywhere. Daily, people, we are using the data. For example, if you are for our daily task, if you are taking a cup of tea, for that, we need a tea, milk, sugar. This can be considered as a data. So it's a daily work. So daily task, whatever we are measuring for our morning cup, the coffee beans or the tea powder, whatever we are doing, that is also a type of data. Checking the weather report before we are leaving the house, what type of dress we have to wear, what type of dress we have to take. So these and all is considered as a data. For example, if you are tracking your steps through any of the fitness tracker, so that also considered as a data. See, all these can all be in the form of data which can be analyzed with the support of data itself. So nowadays, for data analytics, it's important across many industries. As many the leaders, they are using or they are making use of the data to take the final decision, right? So whenever we are talking about the data,
It's moving.
it's moving, right? So data analytics. So this is the process, the way how we are framing our data analytics. So data analytics, here we are defining why we need the data analysis, in what basis we require the data. And talking about the data you can say like different types of data are there, like structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. So talking about our structured data, so the structured data is nothing but it will be in the ordered form. That means it was organized in the tabular format. So like, as we know, the table is nothing but the rows of intersection of rows and columns, such as your database, the spreadsheets, whatever we are doing, that is we are calling as a structured data. When we are talking about our unstructured data, it don't have any predefined structure. Instead of the predefined structure, it may be any of the text documents, or it can be any of your images, it can be your audio or video, whatever it may be. This comes under the category of unstructured data and semi-structured data. So semi-structured data, it has some structure, but it won't be fit in the tabular format. That means it can be any type of your XML files or JSON files or whatever it may be. So this is we are calling as what not data. So once you have decided why we are in the need of data collection, and then we have to collect the data from various sources. So the various sources we have to decide from where and all we are going to collect. After collecting the data, what we have to do is we have to clean the data. That means cleaning the data is nothing but we have to remove the unnecessary data. That means noises, outliers, whatever we are having, that we have to remove it. And the fourth step is we have to analyze the data. That's the fourth step. Once we have cleaned all the data, we have to analyze the data. Finally, we are going to interrupt the result wherever it requires. Based on the analyzed data, we can make a decision how we are going to interrupt the data and how we are going to apply the output. So this is the basic flow of data analytics. So based on this data analytics, we have a key component. So these are the basic key components which we are having in our data analytics. The first one is data collection. So what do you mean by data collection? So here the data analytics, it begins the collection of relevant data from various resources. From where and all we can collect the data? We can collect the data from databases. We can collect the data from files. We can collect the data from sensors, or we can collect the data from social media, and we can collect the data from the internet. So these, as I told, the data can be in any mode, like it can be a structured data or unstructured data or semi-structured data. This is the very first step that we are having in our very first key component of our data analytics. The second step is data cleaning. So what is data cleaning? Once the data is collected, the data, needs to be cleaned. So what it needs to be cleaned? It should be pre-processed, and it should be transformed from one format to another format, which is required by the user. So we need one format which should be transformed into another format that we can do in the process of data cleaning. So data cleaning, which involves what? It may be supporting to handle the missing values. It may be some supporting to remove the outliers, and it may be supporting the standardizing the data format. So if you want to standardize the data format, that you can do. And finally, you can integrate the data from different sources, right? So these are the data cleaning process. The third step is nothing but what? No? Data analysis. So in our data analysis, what and all we can do? So here it was split into three various categories like EDA, statistical analysis, and predictive modeling. Talking about your data analysis, in your data analysis, the first process is EDA, exploratory data analysis, which involves exploring and summarizing the characteristics of the data using the descriptive statistics and visualization techniques. Visualization technique means in what way you are going to represent the data. It helps to identify the patterns like trends. What are the patterns it's required to collect our data, and the correlations and the anomalies in our data. So this comes under our EDA. And in our data analysis, we have statistical analysis. Statistical analysis, it involves applying the statistical methods and techniques to quantify the relationship between your variables and to make the inference about the population from which the data is getting sampled, right? And predictive modeling. So in our third data analysis, it's a predictive modeling. So predictive modeling involves what? It's building the statistical and machine learning models which can be make the prediction or classification based on the historical data. Okay, so what we are going to do, we have to collect the data based on the historical data. After that, these models are trained on the subset of the data, and it can be evolved on the another subset to access their accuracy. And the fourth step is visualization. After collecting the data from various sources, after cleaning the data, and by removing the unwanted outliers and handling the missing values and all those things, and we came to the data analysis. In the data analysis, we are applying certain methods and models and algorithms. After analyzing the data, we have to visualize the data. The data visualization is the process where we are representing the data in the mode of graph. So visualization, it can be such as chart, it can be a graph, or it can be a map, or it can be a dashboard, which helps to communicate the insights and finding the whatever it may be the required one, and it may be finding effectively. So this is your data visualization. Finally, we came the last component. It's nothing but interpretation, data interpretation and insights. Our data analytics, it culminates the interpretation of the results and deriving the actionable insights from the analysis. That means these sites, it will inform the decision-making strategy. What type of strategy formulation we are using, what problem solving we are using, what are the optimization of the process and operations that we are using, that will be freed here. Based on that, will be go for the final destination. So this is the basic key components of our data analytics. Now, we have different types of data analytics. So basically, we have 4 different types of data analytics. So descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics. The first one, descriptive analytics. It deals with what was happened with the past. So it deals with what happened in the past. So that means what now? It involves summarizing and interpreting the historical data and to understand what was happened in the past. And here we can include various techniques like visualization, summary statistics, and EDA, and all those things we can include here in the descriptive analytics. And the next one is diagnostic analytics. It deals with why did it happen in the past? What was the reason? Why did it occur? So this was analyzed in this second type. Third type is predictive analytics. What will happen in the future? That means it involves the historical data to make the prediction about the future events and outcomes. So what will be the outcome? What will be the future event we can expect? So here we can include some technique like regression analysis, time series forecasting, and machine learning algorithms. So with the support of this, we can make a predictive analytics. And the fourth step is prescriptive analytics. So it can be focused on how we can make it. So how can we make it happen? So it focuses on recommending the action, what type of decision we can make. So based on the decision of the analysis of the data, what are the possible outcomes that we can expect? So these we can do with the 4-step prescriptive analytics. So here it includes optimization technique. That means optimization algorithm, because we have to make the decision. So decision tree, algorithms, and simulation modeling, if all the techniques we are applying here for the prescriptive analytics. Now, as I told, the very first step is data collection. Either it can be your structured, unstructured, or semi-structured. Talking about your data collection, we can categorize the data into two types. One is quantitative data, another one is qualitative data. So quantitative data is nothing but what? It's a measurable and countable. It relates to the number, and it comprises of fixed values, and it has a measurement. It can be measured accurately. Okay, so we have different types of collection methods here. So it's a structured data collection. So when you are talking about the quantitative data, it's a structured data collection method. The second data is qualitative data. It is descriptive. It relates to the words or language. So that means what? So it can be unstructured, or it can be semi-structured. So it can be your images file or audio file or video file or any of the text document. So, but it cannot be measured. So it is semi-structured and unstructured data collection. So these are the two types of data collection, qualitative and quantitative. So there are some examples for your qualitative and quantitative. So if we have a textual data, like in social media, we have some customer reviews, social media comments, interview transcripts. These and all comes under your qualitative data. Visual data means images, photographs, and videos. Audio data means recorded interviews, podcasts, phone call recordings. These and all comes under your audio data. And apart from that, categorical data, we are having some survey questions with the different categories like, are you satisfied, are you dissatisfied, neutral, all those things comes under your categorical data. Now coming to your quantitative data. So quantitative is numerical, sales figures, prices, temperatures, ages, these and all comes under your numeric data. Discrete data, it counts the item number of the products, number of website visits, all those things comes under your discrete data. Continuous data. So continuous data, it is measurement. It can take any value like height, weight, like temperature. These and all comes under your continuous data. Yes. So now we'll have basically topmost statistical techniques. So these are some of the topmost statistical techniques where we are having for our
Dr. Sharmila?
Ma'am,
some
Yes.
it is disturbing, ma'am. Afterwards, I'll switch on the webcam.
No problems at all. Please carry on. Yes, sure.
So now we'll have top statistical techniques for data analysis. So they are basically, we have linear regression, tree-based models, classification, resampling methods, and unsupervised learning. So these are the basic statistical techniques where we are using in our data analytics. So when you are talking about your data analysis, linear regression, your regression is nothing but it's an analysis which is statistical process for estimating the relationship among the variables. That means it helps to model and analyze the several variables when we are focusing on the relationship between the dependable and one or more independent dependable variables. Like it may be your predictors. For example, like we can have the effect of the price increase in the petrol upon the demand of the petrol run cars, or you can say the effect of the global fall in oil prices to the inflation of the rate. So these can be, it comes under your regression. So when you are calling about a regression, there are different types of regression like linear regression, logistic regression, non-linear regression. So many regression are there apart from the technique. So today we are going to focus on only research oriented. So in which area and all we can focus on our data analytics. I have some case studies we'll discuss later. Only the basic techniques and the basic tools which is required for our data analytics that we'll discuss. So as we told, linear regression. So linear regression is a statistical method. It used to model the relationship between the dependent variable or one or more independent variable. So for example, so again, if you want to predict the sales of the product based on the advertising spending across the different media channel like TV, newspaper, radio, etc., we can perform the linear regression and we can use the bootstrapping to estimate the confidence intervals for the recursion coefficient. So you can be accessing how the reliable our predictions are. That we can do with the support of linear regression. Now coming to the second type, tree-based models. So tree-based model, again tree-based means it's a decision tree or it can be a random forest. So which is used for both classification and regression tasks. So here, so many methods are there like resampling method, like cross validation, which can help to evaluate the performance of the modules and it can tune their hypermeters. See, for example, you consider the data set, which is containing some information about the patients. So, for example, we can have age, gender, medical history, and we want to predict whether the patient has a particular disease. So here, with the support of tree-based model or decision tree, we can use the decision tree classifier and we can perform the like k-fold cross validation techniques are there to estimate the model accuracy and determine actually what was the disease for the patient. So we can predict it. So this type of model, it supports in the prediction. And we have a unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning, it's clustering algorithms. So here, you can club together. It can be used to validate the stability of the cluster, and it used to determine the optimal number of the cluster. Now we can have a customer data from an e-commerce website. So if I'm taking the customer data from e-commerce website, it can including the features like purchase history, browsing behavior, demographic information, whatever it may be. So here we can use the clustering technique to segment the customer into different groups based on their similarities. So which and all they have browsed, the behavior of the browsing and the purchase history, based on that we can cluster the, we can group the customers. So we can use this clustering techniques and we can analysis and we can validate the quality of the customer and we can ensure the meaningful segmentation. So here, this is your third type, which we are calling as unsupervised learning. And the next one is classification. So here we have a classification algorithms. So which we are having as an, it was labeled as a data point. So which is based on the input feature, like we can combine together. So we are grouping the features of particular characters and we can group the data. For example, you imagine we have a data set containing the features of bank customers and whether they are defaulted on their loans. Okay, we are assuming that we have a bank customer and whether they have defaulted on their loans. We can use here regression to predict
Dr.
load
Sharmila,
default
sorry to
based.
interrupt.
Ma'am,
Dr. Sharmila, extremely sorry to interrupt. Your voice is, it's not consistently coming, it is coming like a feeble and then it comes back again. I believe some little bit of a disruption happening in the audio because it's not coming uniformly. There's inconsistency in the audio which is coming in. If you can just please. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. I was not wanting to, but it was happening for a little while, so I just thought to intrude. Yeah, please. Thank you.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay. Now we have n number of tools available in our data analytics. Like we have Python, we have, ma'am, it's audible, ma'am?
It is
Yes,
perfectly
ma'am, it's audible
fine
now.
now. It is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We have various tools, many tools with different functionality. Nowadays, it's available for data analytics, which will helps to growing the demand of data analytics in the market. So whether it may be user friendly or open source, we have different types of tools like R tool, R programming, and Python programming, Excel, Tableau, RabbitMiner. So many tools are there. So apart from that, we'll go with Python. What's the role of Python in data analytics? So as we discussed, the process of key components of data analytics, data cleaning, and we have data analysis like exploratory data analysis, statistics, machine learning, NLP, all those things. And all these things can be done with the support of Python. So when you are talking about your data cleaning, we can use pandas for organizing and cleaning the data set. When you are discussing about the EDA, so here we can use Seaborn and Matplotlib. So when we are coming with our statistical analysis, we can make use of SciPy. Machine learning means you can use this scikit-learn and TensorFlow. So based on that, we have different types of packages and library files which is supporting our data analytics. So if you are dealing with big data processing, we can make use of PySpark. So web scraping means we can make use of Scarapi. Dashboard creation means we can make use of Dash or Plotly. And collaboration and documentation means we can go with the notebooks, Jupyter notebooks. So in that order, we have different types of packages and library files which is supported by our Python, which can be enhance our data analytics. Now we have another tool named as what now? R. So R is a powerful tool for the data analytics. So because of its open source, because of its multi-platform and its statistical techniques. So when you're talking about the open source, multi-platform and statistical techniques of R programming, we have supporting packages, which is helping for our data analytics. So here we are dealing with the packages which will supported by R programming. We'll see like data visualization, the basic key components which you are having in our data analytics. See, if you are dealing with data visualization, so these are the some of the packages like ggplot2, Google Viz. For data transformation, we can have data table, missing value curve, miss forest, and outlier detection. So these are the various things that we are having in our R programming, where you can make use of all your data analytics jobs. So apart from that, we have extra libraries to improve the performance for mining, for database connectivity, to work with your web, to report the results, and another miscellaneous. So these are the various packages which will support in the data analytics. And we have Power BI also. So here the Power BI. So what is that? So in the Power BI, what we have? So we have various options in our Power BI. So here we can connect the data resources. So we can clean everything we can do with the supporting Power BI. So it will be producing the very good visualization. So based on this,
Yes, Dr. Sharmila. Hello. Hello.
So we have a basic, ma'am.
Yeah, we were not able to hear you for a while. So please. Yeah.
So we have a comparative with data analytics along with the data science, big data, AML, and all those things. So we can say data analytics, it's focused on deriving the insights from the data. And we know that the data science, it encompasses a broad range of activities, including the analytics, etc., machine learning and other advanced methods. And our AML, it's a subset of data science. And artificial intelligence specifically focus on delivering the algorithm, developing the algorithm and models for the machine learning and making the intelligent decision making. So this is the relationship of your data analytics along with your data science and artificial intelligence. So there is always confusion. Is your data sciences is both are same data science, and what is data analytics? What is the relationship between your data science and data analytics? So talking about your data science, it is in broader term, much wider in its scope as compared to your data analytics. While data science, it constitutes the field that mines the large sets of data, but your data analytics is much more specific and basically a part of bigger process. And data science, it aims to uncover the insights and find the patterns from the large data set. But your data analytics, it concerned with finding the answers and gaining the insight to the existing question. Your data science, it focus on asking the right and relevant question, while your data analytics, it focus on the question that requires the answers, right? So when you're talking about your data science, with predicting the future based on the past of patterns, data analytics, it is always about the relevant and meaningful insights of the data. Okay, so this is the basic comparison of your data sciences. So these are some of the differences between your data sciences and data analytics. How far we are differing based on your coding language in your data science, and how we are with your programming and machine learning and other skills, and what is the scope and what are the goals, data types and statistical skills. So when you are talking about the coding language, your Python is the most commonly used language for the data science. Apart from other languages like C++, Java, Perl, we can combine together. So it is essential, your knowledge of Python language is essential for analytics. In your programming skill, in-depth knowledge of programming is required, but data analytics basic, because only we are analyzing the data, we are not making a programming. What is the use of machine learning? The machine learning in your data science, we are using the machine learning algorithms to get the insight. So we are not making the use of machine learning here in your data analytics. Data science, it makes the use of data mining activities to get the meaningful insight. Here, the analysis is based on Hadoop-based analysis we are doing. And goals means data science, it deals with exploration and new innovation. And your data analysis is based on your historical data. It make use of existing data. When you're talking about the various data types, your data science always deals with unstructured data, and our data analytics, it deals with structured data. Statistical skill are necessary in the field of data science, or may be used or may not use in our data analysis. So these are some of the differences between your data analytics and data science. So various research domains are available in your data analytics: healthcare, finance, retail, marketing, supply chain, energy and utility analytics, transportation analytics, manufacturing, education analytics. So many research domains are available. And we have one more technique in market basket analysis technique, which is available in your data analytics. So in our marketing field, the MBA students, they have a syllabus of market basket analysis. So actually what is that now? We can enhance the purchase, we can enhance the sales based on the market basket analysis, like which items are frequently purchased together by the customer. So we'll be having the basket, shopping baskets. So there there may be different types of baskets. See, for example, customer 1, along with the bread, he or she may be taking milk and cereals. Customer 2, he may be taking milk, bread, sugar, and egg. And customer 3, he may be taking milk, bread, and butter, or some other customer with sugars and egg. So based on that, repeatedly, which type of combination was taken by the most of the customer. So that will be analyzed, and that type of the products will be increased in the market, supermarket. So this is we are calling as a market basket analysis. This comes under the one of the technique of your data analytics, which will be increase our sales. Now, this is the basic introduction about your data analytics. Now, we'll go with some of the case studies. So, we'll go with one case study, energy management system. See, for example, in an energy management system, if we want to implement the energy management system to monitor the energy consumption in real time and to predict the demand pattern and fluctuations, and we have to optimize the energy distribution and grid operation, and we want to identify the opportunity for the energy conservation and efficiency, and we want to reduce the peak load, and we want to minimize the energy wastage. So what is the role of data analytics in this energy management system? So in this research, if you want to implement the data analytics concept, what are the process? So there are certain steps of process. So we have to use the key components here. So as we know, the very first step is data collection. So data collection is what? First of all, we have to collect the data from various sources. See, as per this example, this case study, energy management system, what we have to do, we have to collect the data. Energy collects the data. What type of data we are collecting? From where we are collecting? Smart meters. So we can make use of the smart meters. So with the support of smart meters, we can collect the energy consumption data from residential or commercial customer in the real time. And we can collect the data from weather sensors. We can gather the weather data like temperature, humidity, etc. For what for we are collecting the temperature and humidity? To understand its impact and its energy demand. Grid sensors. So with the support of grid sensor, we can monitor the grid performance, voltage level, and power quality. So this is the very first step that we are doing in our energy management system. Now, the next step is we have to integrate and storage. That means we have to collect and we have to take the data. Then what we have to do, we have to pre-process the data cleaning. So cleansing, how we are making the cleansing? We have to cleanse the data by handling the missing values. For example, here, how we can do, we can take the aggregate data at the appropriate time interval. In the energy management system, we can take the aggregate data at the appropriate time interval, like hourly based, daily based for the analysis, and we can normalize and we can scale the numerical features. So this is the second step. Third one is analysis. So how we are going to analyze it? So in the analytic part, we can have three types of analytics we have seen: descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. So in the energy management system, when you are talking about the descriptive analytics, it used to understand the historical energy consumption patterns, peak load periods, and what are the trends that we are using. And this here, we can visualize the data by using the graph, charts, dashboards to identify the insights. Predictive insights. So predictive insights, what we can do. So here in the predictive models, which is helping to forecast the energy demand based on the historical data, weather forecast, and other relevant factors. So here we can make use of time series analysis, regression, machine learning algorithms for demand prediction. Now the next analytics, prescriptive analytics. So here, if you want to implement this analytics, we have to recommend the action for optimizing the energy consumption and grid operation. We have to optimize the energy consumption and grid operation. And we have to generate the actionable insights like for load balancing, demand response, energy efficiency measures, whatever it is required. So this prediction, this analytics and all we are doing, analysis and all we are doing here in the energy management system. Then how we are going to implement this? So implementing the smart energy management system is based on the insights and recommendation from the data analytics. So what and all we have to do? We have to deploy the predictive models and algorithms into the production environment for real-time monitoring and decision making. Like we can integrate the system with the existing energy management system and grid infrastructure. And the very important thing is we have to monitor and we have to make the optimization. So here continuously we have to monitor the performance of the smart management system. So what we have to do, we have to refine the predictive models and algorithms based on the feedbacks and changing the energy dynamics. And we have to optimize the energy distribution and grid operation to improve the efficiency and reliability. And finally, we have to go with the evaluation. So evaluation and impact. So to evaluate the effectiveness of the smart energy management system, we have to measure the key performance indicator. What will be the key performance indicator in the energy management system? It can be such as energy saving, peak load reduction, or grid stability. And we have to analyze the impact of the system on the energy cost, customer satisfaction, and mainly we have to concentrate on environmental sustainability. So based on this implementation, the smart energy system using data analytics, it can achieve the significant improvement in the energy efficiency like cost saving, grid reliability, etc. So this will be enhance the customer satisfaction and promotes the environmental sustainability. So this is one case study in the field of energy management system using our data analytics. Then we'll go another case study, heart disease prediction. Heart disease prediction. What is this? This research, the objective of this research is to develop a predictive model using data analytic techniques to identify the individuals at the risk of heart disease based on the demographic, clinical, and lifestyle factors. So we have to take the data in the category of demographic, clinical, and lifestyle factors. So as for each and every research work based on our different domains, so we have to follow all the key components. The first step, as usual, the step-by-step process. First is data collection. So here for the medical diagnosis, heart disease prediction, what type of data we can collect? We can collect the data set containing the demographic information, medical history, clinical measurement, and life cycle factors of the patients. Then what are the features that we can include here for the patients? We can have age and gender, blood pressure. Like heart disease oriented means we can go with cholesterol level and fasting blood sugar, ECG results, and their habits of exercise habits, whether they are smoking or not, smoking status, and we can go with the family history of the heart disease also. So here the first step, family history of the heart disease will be taken into the consideration for our data collections also, apart from other general features. Next is pre-processing. So how we are going to do? So we have to clean the data by handling the missing values. So like converting the categorical variable into numerical format, like one hot encoding. So how we are going to make it? So all those things we are going to normalize into the numerical feature to ensure the uniform scale across the different variables. So this is data pre-processing. The third step in this area, in the research area of heart disease prediction, what we are doing is we explore the data set with the support of EDA. So EDA is exploratory data analysis. So here what we are doing is the data set will be explored to understand the distribution of variables and what is the correlation between the features and potential patterns. So here the EDA, it can be represented in the mode of histograms, box plots, scatter plots, and correlation matrices to make it more identified insights and relationship. And then you have to go with feature selection. Like we have to select the relevant features that will be very much helpful to predict the heart disease based on the domain knowledge and statistical analysis. And then model development. So here we can apply any of the algorithms. So it depends on the researchers whether they are opting the machine learning algorithms or whatever it may be. If they are opting the machine learning algorithms, means for our disease prediction, such as logistic regression, decision trees, random forest, support vector machines, they can take into the consideration, and they can split the data set into training and testing the sets for the model training and evaluation. Now, once the model was developed, then we had to go with the training of the model. So train the predictive model with the support of label trained data. So now what we have to do is we have to tune the hyperparameters, whatever we have collected, to optimize the model performance. So here we can make use of the techniques like cross validation. Once the model was trained, we have to evaluate the training. So model evaluation. So what we have to do, we have to evaluate the performance of the trained model on testing the data using the metrics like accuracy, precision, and receiver's operating characters curve. So based on these different parameters and metrics, we can compare the performance of the different models to select the best performing one, and we can freeze it on the best performing one. And finally, we have to deploy the training model. So to deploy the training model in the production environment, it can be used to predict the heart disease risk for the new patient. So it will be integrate the model with healthcare systems or application for the real-time prediction and decision support. And how we are going to, once it deployed, we have to come with our monitoring and maintenance. So monitor the performance of the deployment model in the production environment. So periodically, what we have to do? Periodically, we have to retrain the model with updated data, because the data is getting changed. So the adapted change, whatever the changes we are adapting in the data, we have to retrain the model with the adapted data to adapt the changes in the patient's population and healthcare practices. So we have to continuously evaluate the model effectively and make the improvement whenever, whatever it is required. So this is in the field of what now? Medical diagnosis, any type of prediction, disease prediction. So this is an example for heart disease prediction. Then we'll come to the retail sales analytics. So here what we are having now, assume that one leading chain stores that is specializing in electronic and home appliance, they have multiple retail location across the country and online store. So this retail shop, it aims to optimize its sales and strategy and inventory management and marketing efforts to improve the profitability and customer satisfaction. Yes. So this is the problem definition. This is the research work that we are going to do. So how we are going to do it? So the objective of this retail analytics is we have to identify the top selling products and product category. And next is you have to understand the customers' purchasing patterns and preferences. And then we have to optimize the inventory management and product assortment. And we have to identify the trends of sales. That means sales trends and seasonality. That means in which season, what type of products it will be, the sales will be high. And we have to inform the marketing campaigns and promotional strategies. So these are the objectives here. These are the things that we have to analyze in their sales, so that how we are going to process the data analytics. As usual, first is we have to collect the data collection. So what type of data and all we can collect? We can collect the transaction time spent, product IDs, product descriptions, unit prices, quantity, how many quantity it was sold, what are the customer information, whether we got any feedbacks, so customer information. So these will be collected as a data. Then pre-processing. So we have to pre-process the data. If there is any duplicate values are there, any missing values are there, that we have to take into our consideration. And we have to convert the transaction time to the date format, and we have to extract the additional features like date of the week and month of the week. Okay, Then what we have to do, we have to categorize product wise. So categorize the product into product category, like electronic appliance in one category. So based on that, based on the description, we have to categorize all the products. And we have to go with the top selling products category. So which identify the best selling products in the product category. See, for example, LED TVs and smartphones are the top selling products, while electronics and appliances are the best performing category. So we have to take into that consideration. And the type of purchasing pattern of the customer purchasing pattern. We have to analyze the customer transaction data to understand the purchasing patterns and the preference. See, for example, the customer tend to buy TVs and home appliances during the weekends and smartphones during the weekdays. So this we have to consider So most of the weekdays only smartphones are getting into purchase, and TVs and home appliances are in the weekends. And inventory management and product assortment. So we have to analyze the inventory turnover rates and stock levels to optimize the product assortment and inventory management. So what we have to do, we have to adjust the inventory level of the popular products to avoid the stock outs and minimize the overstocking. Okay, so this we have to take into our consideration. So what we have to do now, we have to adjust the inventory levels of popular products to avoid the stock outs and minimize overstocking. And then we have to concentrate on sales trends and seasonality. And we have to analyze the sales data over a time to identify the sales trends, seasonality, and peak sales period. So we have to observe what was the increased sales in air conditioner and fan during the summer months. So for example, in summer, there will be increased sales in air conditioner and fans, and higher sales of heaters and blankets during the winter season. So these types of sales trends and seasonality we have to consider. We have to collect the data. And how we are going to promote it, marketing and promotional strategies. What we have to do, we have to analyze the impact of the marketing campaign and the promotions on sales performance. So we have to measure the effectiveness of the recent discount offers, and like we can have a seasonal promotion on the sales of the specific products and the category. And this should be visualized as a graph or dashboard or whatever it may be. And finally, we have to implement the strategy to improve the retail analytics. We have to adjust this pricing and promotions for high demand products and expand the product offering in the popular categories and optimize the staffing and resource-based sales trends and seasonality. So when you are launching the marketing campaign to capitalize and identify trends, and it should be based on always the customer preference. So these are the things when we are doing our research in our retail analytics, we have to keep in your mind. In the same order, we have different types of research area is there. Sentimental analysis. So sentimental analysis for social media. So what type of like we can have, we can collect the tweets mentioning in the brand from Twitter using its API. So we can focus on the recent tweets related to the brand, and we have to capture up to the date of sentiment. So this will be the data collection in our sentimental analysis system. And in the data processing, we have to clean the data like tweets by removing the mentions, hashtags, emojis, URLs, that and all we have to remove. So how we can tokenize? We have to tokenize the text, and if we have any stop words, we have to remove that. And we can perform stamping and to reduce the word in the root forms, feature extraction, and we have to develop a model in your sentimental analysis. Whatever model you have developed, in the sentimental analysis, we can label the subset of collected tweets as like positive, negative, and neutral sentiment. So we have to train the model using the labeled data to classify the tweets into sentiment categories. And then you have to model the training. As usual, whatever we see in all the data analytic process, we have to evaluate the models, and we have to deploy it, and we have to refine it, and finally we have to make the decision. And finally, what we have to do, it should be receive the insights and the overall sentimental threats like positive, negative mentions, and what are the popular topics, it can be discussed. So the team, they can adjust their marketing strategies, address of the customer concerns, and they can capitalize on the positive sentiment. So this comes under your sentimental analysis. So in that order, we are having n number of fields and research areas where we can apply our data analytics, we can collect the data. So this is something about the research scope. So it's a vast area. So we can have, due to the time constraints, I think I can stop up to this. Ma'am?
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Sharmila. What a fascinating, enlightened talk, very lucid presentation of yours. And it has been just so clear, very, very crispy clear presentation. And each one of us have the real potential of data analytics, in various spheres of life. We have been able to see it, coming through in such a very wonderful manner that you have presented. And definitely, we as library and information science professionals, there's a greater scope for using the data analytical tools. You have also mentioned about the open source, tools which are being available, and the sentiment analysis. The last slide of yours, on sentiment analysis. This holds a great value, in the libraries, because we deal with our users, and we really have to all the time. We work for them, and we have to really gauge the intensity that how good, are our services, and what is the sentiment that they are carrying, towards our resources and services. It has been truly a great honor and pleasure having you, and in such a very wonderful manner you have made it made everyone to understand what is this data analytics, data science, data analytics, and this market basket analysis, this and this holds. And I think in the libraries also, we may like to have some point of time, we may like to have, especially in using the data analytical tools in the open source domain, which can be integrated into our in the libraries. That we would be really interested enough, seeing the potential of using the data analytics in the libraries, because the professionals would definitely like to explore, and especially if these tools are from the open source, the wider would be its acceptability and adoption. We may like to really see to it that in the days to come, we may like to hold a workshop, a very highly technical workshop on this, wherein we can once again seek your expertise in making it possible for our library professionals to know about the implementation of data analytics in the library. Thank you so very much for sparing your time in making this such a wonderful presentation. And I would just like to, because we could see that, in fact, in the chat box also, the attendees are writing. This entire presentation, we are also, with your permission, Dr. Sharmila, we may like to make it available on our YouTube channel, and we will also be happy to share the same with the GIT. And you may like to also, get it further, because everyone would like to. This is a presentation which makes so clear what is this data analytics and data science, data analytics, so many questions everyone carries, but this has been, and also its utilization, usage, potential, in the various disciplines that we talk about, making the life much more easier, more precise, more relevant, making ourselves more relevant. And this has been truly and very enriching and an enlightening session by you. So thank you very much, Dr. Sharmila. And with your permission, we would like to make the floor open for quick questions. So this is for our attendees here. We are having around 400 attendees, who have been just with a very rapt attention. They have been there. We were able to see it, that everyone was just glued and they were just wanting to hear to you. It is a time now for them to get connected with you directly. Requesting our colleagues who are here on this platform from India and many other countries, if you may, you will definitely, maybe presentation was so crystal clear, but you would be having, this has definitely would have given you, a lot much of reasons to think beyond, what is being there, because it has inspired you truly. We request you, please raise your digital hand if you may like to get connected with our distinguished speaker. And we will be very happy, to get you connected with Dr. Sharmila, and you can ask the question directly. And now quickly we'll be moving through alphabetical listing, and just requesting you, This is for the first colleague. She is Amrita Badekar. Amrita, there is no audio device linked to your connection. You need to log out and come back again because we can't give you an audio control on this. This is for Ayushi Agrawal. Ayushi, you have raised your digital hand. Please just kindly unmute yourself, introduce yourself and ask your question. This is for you, Ayushi Agrawal. Ayushi, it looks to me that you have unknowingly pressed on this digital hand. Let me quickly move down to Divya Tiwari. So A to D, we have moved. Divya Tiwari. Divya, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself. Divya Tiwari, Divya, could you please unmute yourself? I'm compelled, because of paucity of time, we may request you. This is for you, Dr. Kiranjeet Kaur Bali. Dr. Kiranjeet Kaur Bali, could you please unmute yourself? You have to just click on to your unmute to get connected. Let me quickly move on, to see. This has been such a wonderful presentation, and let me just quickly try to get connected with Karina Koshti. This is for you. No audio device. I can't give you an audio control. Kavita Mujabale, you don't have an audio device. This is for Kumar Vikas. Kumar Vikas, could you please unmute yourself? This is for you, Kumar Vikas. Could you please unmute yourself? Otherwise, I'm compelled to mute you from here. Let me just move down to see that if any of our attendee may like to. Kindly ensure that your audio device is properly being available. This is for Parneet Kumar. Parneet Kumar, Parneet, please unmute yourself. Parneet, this is for you. Please unmute yourself. Please kindly, it seems that you are just raising, and out of curiosity perhaps, you're just clicking on to the digital hand. This is for ensure that if you have a question, then only please raise. It should not be a false thing coming to us. This is for Partha Sarathi Vananan. Partha Sarathi Vananan, I have unmuted you. This is for you, Mr. Partha Sarathi Vananan. If you have a question, please quickly unmute yourself. Yes, we are connected.
No, ma'am.
You have no question?
No, ma'am.
But you have pressed onto the digital hand. Means this is what happens in person and digital. Digital, we are just able to, your presences through this thing, what is being there. So anyhow, please, thank you very much for joining in. So this is what has been happening in online. You click onto something and it gives us as if you're wanting to. Praveen Koshti. Praveen, let's see, has he also just out of curiosity clicked onto it? Praveen Koshti? Praveen, time is very precious. I think, we should not, let's quickly would like to Purushottam Gowda. Mr. Purushottam Gowda, could you please unmute yourself? You have also raised the digital hand. Mr. Purushottam Gowda, if you have a question, please my humble request to all the attendees, don't raise the digital hand if you don't have a question to ask. It's taking away everyone's time. Ranjit Samantre, this is for Ranjit Samantre. Ranjit?
Ji, ma'am.
Yeah, do you have a question to ask, Ranjit?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Ranjit, you have also clicked on the digital hand. So this is like in person, one can see that if someone has raised or not. But this is what happens in the online. But let's nonetheless, let me just try to see. It should not happen that this is for Mr. Surinder Singh. Mr. Surinder Singh. Mr. Surinder Singh, you have raised your digital hand. Your silence has given the answer that again you have also just clicked on to no. This is for A. Vasu. A. Vasu, could you please let us know whether you're genuinely wanting to ask a question? Vasu A. Vasu A. No, this is no, not really. Let me just I think we are through with this, and if you have any queries, you can always reach out to Dr. Sharmila directly. It's a time for us to firstly present a memento. Can we request you, Dr. Sharmila, to kindly switch on your webcam so that each one of us get a chance? Yes, Dr. Sharmila. And this is from each one of us, not only DELNET, but each one of us, with a warm, sincere, great admiration and appreciation for your work, the most outstanding, impressive work that you are doing. And you may many more patents, to get registered. And, it brings in, a kind of a transformation in the society. You are contributing so immensely. And it has been really an honor and pleasure for us to have you on this platform. And your presentation was simply, amazing. It was, the best thing was you were able to convey, in a very simple ways, what does this data analytics means and how this can impact, the way that we are thinking, behaving, assessing the things and making the things much more better and finer. Great sense of appreciation, admiration for you, Dr. Sharmila, and we'll be really delighted, if it takes a position somewhere on your work desk and inspires you, the mighty elephant coming your way from Delhi, and it's with a great sense of admiration for your work, the fabulous work that you are engaged with. Thank you so very much.
Thank
On
you,
this
ma'am.
platform, yeah, thank you so much indeed. I would like to mention about a wonderful colleague with whom I have been interacting over the years, no one else other than Professor N. Krishnapriya, a wonderful colleague, with whom have been just interacting. Always a pleasure to get connected, and a great pleasure, to get connected today, in the online. This is perhaps the first time that we are able to see each other on this platform, and she has been one of the most promising, most proactive, our colleague taking care of professor in charge of the library at Jansons Institute. We can't really thank you enough, Professor Krishnapriya. This is all because of you. You have been the one instrumental in organizing this session over here today. Thank you so very much for making it possible, to get into what we have done today for all our colleagues, across India and many other countries. And this has indeed opened up, a new avenues for further collaborations on, many of the projects that we are going to really work together, especially on, we would be really wanting, if we can have a kind of a research group for data analytics, in libraries, how we can bring in this technology, practically this technology into the libraries. And since we have got such an enormous expertise available at Jansons Institute, so DELNET may like to really initiate as a technology trends. We are working now to see that how these technology trends, what are the emerging technology trends and how they practically can be, and having a kind of a research group and then getting it implemented also. So must thank you for the enormous works, that you are doing.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks. It's a pleasure to always to connect with you. Yes, thank you.
And this is for you, Professor Krishnapriya.
That's
Of
great
appreciation.
thing. Thank you so much.
Not much of appreciation for you, and always
Always
keep on
your
dreaming
words mean so much for us, ma'am, rather than the gifts from you. Thank you so much.
It is such a pleasure, such a pleasure. I would in the end would like to request and once again thank Dr. M.V. Suresh Kumarji, also the principal, all our distinguished colleagues at Jansons Institute of Technology, in collaborating, in establishing the new connection with DELNET. We have been having a good, relations for last so many years. But yes, indeed, through this platform today, we have been able to initiate it for the first time. Truly remain, grateful for the very warm, cordial support that you have extended it to us. Also to all our colleagues who have been able to join us from different nooks and parts. Let me just share with you that this is just a beginning of when we think about the data analytics, and sincerely, we are really wanting, to work to see to it how we can use these emerging technologies in the libraries for the betterment of the libraries for our users community. And we would certainly like to come back and having some, technical workshops, maybe the in-person workshops, and trying to pass on the message and trying to help the libraries to the maximum possible extent. And it's like training the trainer, so that you have most inspiring successful stories, and then you in turn also inspire many others to adopt that. I would like to now request Dr. M.V. Suresh Kumarji, who has been very kind and gracious also in being there for the last more than an hour with us. May I request you, Dr. Suresh Kumarji, to kindly give a concluding remarks to today's webinar. It's over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful session by Dr. E.S. Sharmila, ma'am. She has clearly explained about the data analytics and its validity in library science as well. So I hope all the participants would have been enlightened with this knowledge, and hope they will put into application in a short time from now. And I congratulate our Professor and Krishnapriya ma'am for taking a lot of effort in organizing not just this webinar alone, but continuous effort for the past 2 years have earned us one of the best performing NDLI clubs in among all the my colleagues in my state. So congratulations to Krishnapriya ma'am for your wonderful work, and Dr. Sangeeta Kaul ma'am, you have done a wonderful job. The first time I'm seeing you on screen, but the way you conducted the session, the way you have accommodated everyone, and the way you have even the queries you have just how this shows portrays the personality of you, how to accommodate the session, accommodating on behalf of technology. Heartfelt thanks to Sangeeta ma'am.
Indeed, an honor.
Yes.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Dr. Suresh. And we really look forward to coming. That's a commitment. We have to come down. We were supposed to do it in February, but yes, indeed, we are now inching towards getting into the new financial year, and we'll make it sure that we come in person and have, an in-person program. So we have just made the beginning today, and we are really feeling so very blessed and happy about it. Thank you so very much. And I must say once again, a big thank you to each one of you who have made this afternoon really indeed a wonderful afternoon to remember, cherish, and we remain always appreciative of your participation. As we always say, you are an inspiration, you are a strength to us. So keep on inspiring us, and let's together, keep on contributing to the society with our efforts, with our dedicated and concerted efforts to see to it that the change that we wish to see around, we become the agent of that change. It would be an immense pleasure for us to be of further any assistance to you at any point of time. I just quickly would like to mention that we are going to upload this entire deliberations with the permission of Jansons Institute of Technology and our distinguished speaker, Dr. E.S. Sharmila. The entire video recording of the session will be available on DELNET's YouTube channel. You would be aware about it, the web view, and you are also going to get precisely at 5 o'clock, you are going to get certificates of participation given with a great sense of appreciation by the organizers, DELNET and Jansons Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, for joining us this afternoon. We remain ever grateful to you for your cooperation and looking forward, to having you back again in the future webinars of DELNET as well as of Jansons Institute of Technology. Thank you very much, one and all. May God bless you. Have, the best of the times, fulfilling times, and stay happy and stay blessed. And it was truly a pleasure, both for DELNET and Jansons Institute of Technology, to have organized this session. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much, Dr. Suresh Kumarji, once again, Dr. Sharmila, Professor Krishnapriya, and also convey my regards to the principal and all our colleagues over there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much indeed.